2K Games, by way of Monolith Productions, systematically undermined and deliberately broke the series' major selling point. Why did I say 2K Games on the biggest show of the year when I've been bagging on Warner Brothers for years? Oh, I'm gonna have to face strict punishment for this shit. We've talked many times before about the asset flip, a game that uses pre-made video game assets and just tosses them up unaltered. While this is a problem, it needs to be stressed that the use of assets themselves is not inherently bad. Like any tool, in any toolbox, assets can be used for good and for ill. Unfortunately, so many games have chosen the latter option that the very idea of asset use has become stigmatized. The Jimquisition itself is not blameless in this stigmatization. We've not done a good job of emphasizing the flip side of the asset flip. This we shall fix, hopefully, in today's video. But first, let's discuss assets and the flipping thereof for those not in the know. Many video games these days utilize purchased assets, game elements that the developers didn't make themselves but bought pre-made from outlets such as Unity's Asset Store. Pretty much every common game engine has an asset store where you can buy all sorts of things to plug into your game. Such assets can include animations, environmental objects, even character models and weapons. At their most expansive, pre-built assets can include whole combat systems or even entirely playable games that are intended to be customized and personalized by the developer using them. Thanks to Steam and the mobile market exhibiting a total lack of quality control, the rise in popularity of asset stores has led to many notable instances of what I call the asset flip. A term that's gained a impressive amount of traction outside of this show. Asset flips refer to games that possess practically zero original work from the alleged developer selling it. Unit Z is the most blatant and ubiquitous example of an asset flip. Unit Z is a basic Minecraft-looking zombie survival game that you can purchase fully from Unity's asset store. Again, the idea is to use this basic game as a foundation, a building point. A good developer would ideally take Unit Z and replace the generic zombies and weapons, for example, with their own original stuff. Maybe go deeper into the code to fix up, improve, and otherwise personalize the experience. You know, make it their game, not just Unit Z with a different name. This is, of course, not what happened in many cases. Steam and Google Play has been plagued with Unit Z releases. Developers buy, or perhaps pirate, Unit Z, rename it to Day Survival Z, or Zombie Z, or Pixel Z, or whatever fucking bollocks, and just upload the fucker without altering a damn thing. This has happened many times, and it constitutes a classic asset flip. As well as Unit Z, you can find Unreal Engine and Game Guru tutorial levels uploaded as full video game releases. These are things never intended for public use, but otherwise sold to the unsuspecting for money. A notorious variant of the asset flip is most famously exhibited by the now defunct studio Digital Homicide. Rather than upload entire pre-built tutorials, these games are cobbled together from a whole mess of pre-made assets. They're all jumbled up with no rhyme or reason, no artistic cohesion, and most of all, barely a lick of original artwork, programming, or creative integrity. The sheer amount of these cheeky piss-takers has meant the very use of assets in a game is shaky. Where are the lines after all? What's an acceptable use of an asset, and what relies on the pre-packaged so much that it constitutes a flip? I've received messages from people just getting into game development, worried that their use of anything pre-built will get them criticised or ostracised. This is where I swoop in with my big old oar to say that talent is an asset. Talent is an asset. And if you exhibit talent while using the tools provided by Unity, Unreal, Game Guru and others, you'll more than likely be okay. You know, if you're good. I'm making my first game in Game Maker Studio 2, writes one budding dev. And since this is a one-person project, I thought of using pre-made assets, like a background or some buildings, nothing major, from the marketplace, but I don't want my game to be dismissed because it has some pre-made assets and for people to call it an asset flip. What should I do? The answer is, of course, to just do it. If you're using environmental details but enhancing the game with your own original artwork and writing and what have you, it shouldn't matter. The difference between an asset flip and a game that just happens to use pre-made assets is effort. The very fact you exhibit concern about this shows more care, integrity and attention than any Unit Z re-uploader has shown. Simply put, there is nothing wrong with using assets. The problem, you see, is in using nothing but assets without any original work of your own on display. You know, say for a name change and a bit of garbled friggin' text here and there. Oh, and don't use blood effect from Google image search because, well, you'll get this artifacting on the sides of the blood effect. 'Cause you're shit at art. And I just realised I might have been sounding really sarcastic and mean to the person who sent me that message, but I wasn't, I was just being performative. Seriously, I hope you do really well with it. You might be surprised at some of the games out there weaving pre-purchased assets into their own work. Great developers will rely on asset stores, but what makes them great is their ability to use such packaged goods in ways the player doesn't even notice. For example, Mike Bithel's critically acclaimed Volume is not technically 100% Mike Bithel's work. Did you know around 70% of the animation in Volume is motion capture work that Bithell purchased from a store and built into the game? Additionally, a number of environmental details such as chairs and mugs were pre-bought alongside certain audio files. Does it matter? No, because the gameplay concepts are original, the narrative is original, the voice acting, which includes yours truly as a matter of disclosure, is original. Yeah, Volume uses stock assets that anybody could buy and put into their games, but only Volume looks, plays and feels like Volume because it's Volume. You cannot buy Volume wholesale from an asset store and upload it onto Steam with a different name because Volume is Volume. It's not yours, it's Volume. And there's a 90% chance you couldn't get Andy Serkis to appear in your game. There's a 90% chance you could get me though. I'm desperate for work. If you dig into indie game development just a little bit, you may hear the name Mixamo come up. Mixamo lets you create and animate 3D characters and promises you don't even need to have knowledge of 3D game development to make them work. A tool ripe for abuse, I'm sure, but in the right hands, that's an invaluable resource that plenty of developers have used to create original work. PlayerUnknown'S Battlegrounds may be the most famous example of a successful game using stock assets in a way that doesn't generally offend. It mostly just offends people who are already offended by Battlegrounds. It has in fact faced accusations of being an asset flip itself in the past, but in all seriousness, I can't say I fully agree with that particular assessment. Yes, PUBG utilizes a ton of Unreal Engine assets that Bluehole Entertainment did not make. It took environments made by others and plugged them into its massive island. But again, talent is an asset that cannot be bought, and for all the criticisms PUBG might deserve, I think it's earned credit for utilizing assets in an okay way. One cannot argue there's an artistic consistency to PUBG's world, even if it's an art style that's rather basic and dreary. It's a very different beast from the Slaughtering Grounds, which threw random bullshit into a map without any thought given to design fluidity or cohesion. There we're talking about zombies with wildly different art styles in worlds full of random hodgepodge garbage, like someone upturned a box of toys into a map and said, "That'll do." By contrast, everything in PUBG at least looks like it belongs in PUBG. And on top of that is the Battle Royale gameplay concept. We can argue all day who invented it, but there's no doubt Bluehole created a version of it that people fucking loved. The enclosing circle of death that forces disparate hiding players into an ever-shrinking combat zone is something Bluehole didn't just purchase like a newborn suckling pig at the local marché. It made that. It showed talent. And I don't give a fuck if you like Fortnite better, okay? I know at least 10 of you are desperately typing that right now in response to this section. But whether you like Fortnite better or not, PlayerUnknown'S Battlegrounds is not an asset flip. There is just too much game design, too much talent, too much originality, even in a game that visually borrows so much from a common stockpile that anyone could use. Not anyone could use it the way Bluehole used it. That's the difference maker. They took the right building blocks, put them in the right place, and added their original work to it. Not an asset flip in the beady eyes of this old dog. I don't know why I said that. On that note, the Jimquisition itself uses pre-made assets. Loads of them! Weird random pictures from the internet and 80s and 90s pop culture imagery make up a ton of this show's visual style. To say nothing of freely usable background tunes from Kevin MacLeod, a man whose music is responsible for enhancing more online content than you could fucking imagine. But my videos aren't just pre-made pictures set to music. It's married to original artwork and music I've licensed, as well as the words you're hearing right now, the written script, the pre-filmed segments, my ideas and my thoughts that I'm communicating to you. The Jimquisition, and indeed many internet videos, rely on pre-built audio-visual assets just like video games. But unless I'm uploading somebody else's video work without making any personal changes, I'm not asset flipping. Not like some of those fucking YouTube channels that take my videos and upload them without fucking asking, you cheeky fucks. In truth, the use of existing engines like Unity, Unreal, and even Game Guru, as well as the assets they provide, that's something to be encouraged. In a world where major publishers and their defenders cry about how expensive games are to make, the wide availability of pre-existing tools that save time and money is actually a great thing, and something we ought to embrace despite how many piss takers are trying to ruin it for everyone. So we'll recognize a building here or there. That won't matter if there's a great narrative, original characters, gameplay that the developer actually worked on and honed and made their own. With all that in place, chances are we won't actually recognize the building because we won't notice it among all the original cool shit going on. There are potholes, of course, that must be avoided. Learn which assets are too popular before just plonking them into your game. Everybody's favourite Unity enemy, for example, the Spider-Head bloke, has appeared in just too many games for its use to be anything more than a joke. It's like when you make YouTube videos, you gotta be sort of careful about which Kevin MacLeod songs you want to use, since some of them have become so overused or so connected connected to another series, that using them can sort of dampen the effect of your video work. I Bagsed Fearless first though, I really like that Incompetech song. Same goes for pretty much any zombie that appeared in the slaughtering grounds. Their messy awfulness is too iconically terrible to appear unaltered in another game without dredging up memories. This is, of course, where that aforementioned talent comes in. A talented creator could personalise that spider head into something original. In fact, I want to prove that's what a talented creator could do. And I want to prove it won't take 5 fucking years of tinkering to do it either. Oh, that's right. We're doing a competition, you suckers. I'm offering a prize of $500 American to the creator who can take the Horrid Spider Unity asset and make their own original expressive creation using it as a foundation. And it'll be your original creation. I'm not asking for the rights or anything. That's your spider head. You do what you want with it. There's a sentence I never thought I'd have to say when I started this career. In order to win, you just have to impress me more than everybody else. How you choose to interpret that stipulation and express yourself is entirely up to you as an artist. You can take that spider head and you can Photoshop it, you can chop it, you can even obtain the asset and fully code something up if you want. Though don't spend too long on it, as I truly do believe it won't take a talented person too long to make that spider their own beautiful baby. Plus it's $500, it's not the contents of Fort fucking Knox. I'm not expecting you to work your fingers to the bone on this one, folks. But really, the goal is simple. Impress me with your talent and turn the horrid spider into something fresher than my fat ass. Send your submissions to jim@thejimquisition.com with the title Horrid Spider Contest in quotation marks. Let's make it easier. And the name you'd like to be credited with, should you win. Plus you'll need a PayPal, because that's how we'll do the money thing. Also, if you do great but don't win, let me know if you'd like to have your work shown with full credit or not, as I wouldn't be showing any non-winners without their permission. The contest ends by the time the next episode airs, and we shall announce our winner on the episode after that. So that's 2 weeks from now. I'm pretty sure that's how weeks work. Oh shit, that'll be the episode after I do the wrestling thing. Oh fuck, I'm having panic problems with that. Oh Jesus bloody fuck, what have I gotten myself into? I'm gonna fuck it right up! Anyway, we're doing a competition is the point. And I know it's not a massive cash prize, but it's more money than you'll be paid by pretty much any games media outlet for doing them a full fucking feature. I guarantee you that bloody much, mate. And we'll do that because talent is an asset, and if you can't bring that unique talent to a video game, if you can only repackage the work others have done without your own special flavour, your own special look, your own special fucking voice, that is when you're nothing but a useless, worthless, pointless asset flipper, and you can flip right off, ya fuck. Life-giving water is good for you inside the sex head. So we've had a lot of fun on the Jimquisition, but another thing I should point out is a lot of developers say they're one-person teams, which is fine. I don't know why I put it in quotes. A lot of them are one-person teams. But just because you start out as one person doesn't mean you have to stay that way. There are lots of artists online, programmers online, game developers online in the same position as you. They're one person, maybe looking for a team, looking for group, as it were. And they're human beings. They're reasonable. I mean, most of the time anyway. Let them know what your limits are. They'll let you know what their deal breakers are and see if you can maybe come to some sort of arrangement. Okay? Don't make them work for free for exposure, but if you have no budget, let them know and maybe come to some sort of agreement.
people are willing to compromise and agree, and you can build yourself a team of those just like you, so long as you're not taking advantage of anyone. So maybe toss other workers a bone, because no game ever should be using Shutterstock imageries as their entire video game cover art. That's just sad. Thank God for me, and I'm gonna have to find the keys for this. Ciao!